Hi, welcome to the second coming of unbelief. Um, I just want to put in a quick word about why some people have the idea that America is a Christian nation. Now, what didn't start out as a Christian nation? Now, the Pilgrims emigrated to North America knowing that there was some kind of infrastructure. Uh, And they came here because they didn't want to be Anglicans and go to the state church, the Christian church of the king, because they disagreed with the king. Um, and the other colonies, they had state supported churches. Maryland had a state supported Catholic church because Catholics weren't always um, welcome in other colonies. Rhode Island was the exception. Roger Williams was very specific. This is a colony for anybody of any and all or no beliefs. Every other one of the colonies had a state-supported church. But in the Constitution, they took tax money out away from the churches. And it wasn't a Christian nation. But then, before, during, after the Civil War, people started expanding west. And if you've ever been to the middle of the U.S., you know it's grassland and there's lots of room for wheat, corn, vegetables, beef, but it's a lot of work. And the only day you get off is Sunday. And that's the only day that you have time to go see anybody. And so for the longest time, the only social life you were going to find in a non-urban setting was church on Sunday. And you get used to repeating the same prayers and the same phrases and singing the same songs, and you get to think in yourself as a Christian, and supposing that the community is a Christian community, and well, yeah, because most settlers were white Protestants. But it wasn't supposed to be a Christian nation. Okay? And now we live in 2024, and it's easier to get places and go stuff and do stuff. And we have community clubs for hiking and community clubs for riding a bicycle and community clubs for sewing and doing all kinds of things that you can do after work. Thanks to some labor regulations, we have an 8-hour day and a 5-day work week. So we can have weekend clubs or evening clubs that didn't exist back in the 1800s. We can make friends outside of church. America never was supposed to be a Christian nation because our founding fathers, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Alexander Hamilton, Ben Franklin, they all had seen up front and close what happened when you had a state-supported religion, a Christian nation. And they didn't want America to go down that road. So no, America did not start out as a Christian nation. It became a de facto pseudo Christian nation, and I put pseudo in quotes because that was by default. It was the only place to get social life. If you were going to have a social life for a long time, and people got in the habit, good people go to church. If you're a good person, you show up and you do what everybody else does. But we were never intended to be a Christian nation, because when the church is part of the state, taxes pay the pastor, taxes pay for upkeep of buildings, and the state is going to tell you this is the correct belief and that is the incorrect belief. And you must do what the state says, or you will be fined, punished, or jailed. We do not want America to be a Christian nation. It wasn't started that way, and it should never become that at any time. Okay, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant about the Christian nation part. I will see you next time. Please like and subscribe and share if you will. And I'll see you next time for Second Coming of Unbelief.